All right, barrel or nah, number one, coming off of our naked instrument conversation. Barrel or nah, reggae music.
Zero barrel, no barrel. I hate reggae, and I have we not talked about this?
I don't remember ever talking about this, but I somehow knew you hated reggae.
I loathe reggae. The family will like reggae. They will try to sneak it on, especially if we're on like vacation, tropically. I will throw speakers into water if I can. Like
It
I loathe reggae. I loathe reggae. I'm not going to say worse than the Grateful Dead, but it's right near there.
so I know this is a controversial one. We're going to get a bunch of feedback on it of people who love reggae, but I want to caveat it all by saying reggae shot itself in the foot with Bob Marley being way too popular, like being the only thing, right? So when you say your family plays reggae, let me guess, was it Bob Marley that they played for you?
Yeah, I mean, chances are that's what's coming on, right?
Exactly.
Nobody in the family likes reggae enough to have a reggae group or act that they like that is anywhere, they'll put on either reggae Spotify, which will play Bob Marley, then Peter Tosh, and then just the standards. Yeah. I
So
do I gotta caveat this double a little bit though, because dancehall's not reggae, right? I
no,
love
no.
dancehall.
So if every kid that I went to high school with had gone to Jamaica or wherever and had like a natural exposure to that a certain style of music and then came back and was like, man, I love this stuff. I got turned on to it and it reminds me of this experience. That'd be one thing. That was not what happened in the Southern California experience. It was just that everybody got Bob Marley's greatest hits and thought that was the end all be all. And then every time one of those songs came on, everybody started singing in unison. So
Yeah.
it was, and I don't know, maybe that is the best version of reggae music. I don't know. All I know is it became this other thing entirely that, much like you with your Grateful Dead experience, you had to just push up against. That's how I felt about reggae my entire life too. And now it comes on and somebody acts like they're passionate about it. I'm like, you don't know the first thing about reggae.
Yeah, you know nothing. There's a reggae store uh down in San Diego that I pass from time to time. It just says like reggae shop or something on the outside. And of course it is red, green, yellow. Like it is every trope of reggae music, right? Or reggae lifestyle or whatever.
Yeah.
Like colorful turban or whatever thing, all of it. Uh and I wonder if I was driving by and saw a rock and roll store, what the version of that would be. Would it be like, a guitar and a black leather jacket? And I mean, there's so many iterations of rock and roll, and I don't know that there's not also a bunch of iterations of reggae, but like it's all the same thing, I feel, to at least to the American normal palate.
So for anybody who wants to write us an email being like, you guys are so lame, like reggae is so good and so nuanced, you don't know anything. You're right, but you should be mad at everybody that we're talking about who embraced Bob Marley and force fed it down the mainstream's culture because they bastardized your thing. That's the exact reason why we're mad at people's, I don't know, the WSL doing what they're doing with surfing or whatever, or wave stormers. That's they're bastardizing the initial thing so that nobody can enjoy it.
And I feel like worse about, I mean, what I dislike about reggae is also everything adjacent to reggae, right? It's like when somebody turns reggae on, or if somebody's identifying with reggae, then you never see like, man, I'm just like a hardcore person. I like to kick the shit out of people all the time. And I go to the gym and I work out all the time and I listen to reggae.
Yeah,
No,
this is my
like
running track or my
yeah,
workout track.
the
Yeah.
person who's listening to reggae is really trying to like force a artificial, I'm a laid back kind of person, or at least when they're putting on the reggae, now it's time to be laid back and chill, everybody. Let's just kind of sway around. Da, 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 da. Like, I don't like that. I don't like
Yeah.
you being fake because of the music you're listening to.
Right. It's the anthem for like, I'm
Let's
finally at
be
the
chill.
beach. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
finally at the beach. Don't worry about a
About a
thing. This is
thing.
my playlist that I play when I go to the pool in Dominican Republic or
I
whatever.
don't worry about a thing. I'm just
Yeah, exactly.
enjoying life.
Everything's going to be all right. No, no, we don't want the anthem. All right, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I hate it.
Um, Barrel or not, coming in from a listener. DLS and Chaz, on a semi recent trip down to Baja, I pulled my rental into a local petrol station And to my surprise, I was greeted by a lovely attendant who pumped my gas, cleaned my dusty windshield, put air in my tires, and happily accepted my credit card. Being from Oregon, I thought Chaz may be the right person to talk to. So I humbly asked, barrel or not, full service gas station. Cheers, don't work. Work is for suckers. Kitty King, Burlington, Vermont.
Thank you so much for this question. And it is a absolute barrel, but the only way it really works is if it's enforced by the state. I feel, or in Oregon it wasn't, and I don't know what it is now, but it wasn't optional. You were not allowed to get out of your car and pump your gas. So not only is there a whole new batch of jobs that are pleasant jobs, right? I mean, sure, you're huffing gas fumes all day, but
Which is great. I love
yeah,
that smell.
but much like the parking lot cart getter or the grocery cart parking lot getter, uh gas station guy, you're like kind of moving around a little bit. You're inside, outside, you're meeting new people. Every exchange is, like a limited amount of time because it's however long it takes to fill up. Like I always enjoyed that experience. And then coming to California, pumping your own gas, sure, it's quicker, it's easier, it's all the stuff. But it just felt it misses. Why did we just strip away, you know, like another what? Like a luxury. It was a
Yeah.
small luxury for you to pull up to the service station and get your car serviced and off you go, ding ding. Where nope, we're about efficiency, we're about getting where we need to go. I don't like that. I like the luxury of full service.
I agree. I think it's barrel. The only times I've had it done very few times in my life. I've never, I don't even know if it exists anymore in a gas station in Southern California where there is a full service lane that you could
Yes.
choose. Because that was a thing when I was young and we would never use it. But I have driven through Oregon where it's state mandated that it's full service. Every attendant I've ever interacted with was happy and
Yeah.
jovial, like a Trader Joe's employee. Like they really enjoyed their job, which is an anomaly.
I feel that getting like it's a combination of getting outside enough and probably huffing gas fumes, but you got a little bit of pep in your step when you're the gas station attendant. You're never like lifting heavy stuff. There's just enough physical to get a tiny bit of endorphins flowing. It's all good work.
I think because there's also a tip involved often or
Yep.
potentially. So it's almost like when you see a caddy, like a young kid who's like a caddy at the golf course, and he's like got a smile and he's trying hard and he's wiping down the clubs because he knows that this could help benefit his income at the end of the day. I think that had to do with the attendant thing. But then I was thinking about whenever I saw movies from like the 80s or 90s where people would pull up to a gas station and it was full serve, the attendant was always super nice, but the driver was always a dick to the attendant. He would
The
hey, fill her up or say something rude on his way in to go buy a pop, you know?
In these movies though, often the person driving up either had a body in the trunk or was
True.
on their way to murder someone, or there was
That's true.
usually some nefariousness involved.
Yeah, but then they should be extra nice if you're
Yeah.
trying to get away with a murder.
Back to the tipping thing though. This is exactly where tipping works and is great because if you like the person there is working extra hard, and I appreciate that clean windshield. It is totally worth the, $5 for you to take extra special care.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, good. I'm glad we're both in. Final barrel or not, parking in a handicap spot.
If you're a non-handicapped, it is definitely a no barrel, and I fluctuate on my levels of rage when it comes to this one. Uh, Sometimes I think how you are the lowest of the low. You are scum, you able-bodied person parking in a hand. Where are they going to go? You jerk. Uh, but then I think at some point, what was it for? Oh, I was driving wife's grandma around and she like had trouble walking, so I had a handicap placard, right? So threw that in the car, was driving her around. There's rarely ever handicap spots when you need them, I realized.
Right.
Like, and not because they're being taken up by people without non-handicap parkers. Just there's way too many handicaps out there these days.
Um, that's a great example though of I've had that scenario with my grandma. An extra 10 feet matters.
It totally matters. But
Like she needs that front spot because it's
yes,
hard to get into the
but
front door.
I feel that the handicap parking spot they were built based on 1976 records and all that, where
Yeah.
there's not enough of them at all anymore. So
Yeah.
it's just absurd to begin with. So I guess I don't get the ire now when I see somebody misusing it, because I just think if it's not you, it'd be another car. That car would deserve it. But there's like 15 other lined up behind that. There's just not enough, full stop. So you not doing it, it doesn't like I never do it and wouldn't recommend it. But also the ire has left the building.
I'm going full non-barrel. Do not park in a handicap spot. Even if you have a placard, if you are ambulatory,
Oh
don't
yeah,
park.
that's true.
Don't park
Okay,
in the spot. Leave it for the old woman that you and I were just talking about.
that's the person who parks in the handicap spot without a placard, risking a $550 ticket. I kind of like the moxie on that
My
person, I'll
my
say.
wife advised me to do it this week. We were
Just park
pulling
there.
we were pulling in somewhere. It was full lot except for the handicap spots, and we just needed to get in and get out. It was like picking up food or something. She's like, just park there. And I'm like, I looked at her, I was like, who did I marry? I'm not gonna pull. The other thing is there's going to be 100 people in this hour coming to pick up food. And so if we all just live by your rules where you do it temporarily, the spot will be full throughout the entire
Always.
hour with people coming and going. No, we're not going to contribute to a society where we live by that rule because then nobody wins, you know?
But again, I will go and state if somebody's willing to lump a $560 ticket for a 10-minute run in, run out, you know, you got a lot of money and some mojo on you. It's the person who has grandma's pass without grandma in the car. That's the annoying one.
So I would like to live in the world you're talking about, but every person who parks there gets the ticket guaranteed. Because the problem is nobody ends up getting the ticket because you're in and out in 30 seconds. But I want a camera there stationed and an automatic ticket. And if you do have the moxie of picking up my food faster is worth $500, then
Yep.
by all means go for
Yeah.
it and feed the system because I need this pothole fixed, you know? But I also see it. We go get coffee in the morning, and it'll be the coffee runner, like the person who's running in to get coffee and running back out. They sometimes park in that front stall, and I look at them with ire because we're all here to get coffee really quickly.
Yeah.
Every single one of us. That's the point
Yep.
of getting coffee is to try to get it as quickly as you can. Don't take that spot. You have to do what we all have to do: walk 10 extra feet.
That's the truth. I mean, that right there, now you're building my ire right back up for any, especially the run in, run outer. Ooh, related to this, that's gotten my goat lately, uh, is okay. When you have like an oncoming lane, this is especially iresome when it's coming from the left. So if there's an on ramp coming on to the left of the freeway, right? Not
Okay.
that common, but and so you have some whatever, like the merging time takes some time. Drives me crazy. People do it all the time these days. And I'm like, where they'll be sitting behind you, they'll jerk around into that lane to then go up two cars and then remerge, not only causing traffic. Think we're all going the same. What got you, like, what special gift did you earn to be able to do that? What if we all did it? I mean, on to the, yeah, back to the handicap quick park.
Yeah, ruins the flow of traffic. You as the driver in front of them are responsible for keeping the gap closed. You're doing your job. So
Yes.
this isn't on you. They're just realizing they just want to fight the system basically. And so, yeah, not cool.
Rude.
Totally
Rude
rude.
people. Wow, was
I know
that
I
three
could
no
do
barrels?
no barrel reggae, no barrel. No, we did yes barrel on full service gas station.
Oh yeah, good. Whew.
Yeah.
Didn't
So
didn't want to have it be too negative a day.
exactly.